So welcome to MCSE 2016 server class. So my name is Sayed Dinu. So I'm the instructor for MCSE. So I have been teaching MCSE last 13 years, and I'm not only instructor for MCSE. Even I teach Exchange Server and VMware. Okay. So I got a lot of experience on the Microsoft server. That is, I work on 2003, 2008, 2012, and currently I'm working on 2015. And even I have hands-on troubleshooting in a small or medium scale mission critical environment. So basically, I work for a company called Netmatrix. So Netmatrix is a company started almost 20 years ago, and still the company available in the market. So we people like, especially famous for the training purpose. Okay. So in today's session, I'm going to show you like what is MCSE, what we are going to learn in our MCSE course, and what kind of syllabus which I'm going to cover. So in detail, we are going to discuss this. Okay. So begin with, so whenever you want to start any course in networking, so one of the word always come here. We have something called IT. So IT stands for information technology. So IT is like one of the big industry that is available in the market. So this industry has been classified into many sectors. So one of the sector we have, the main focus which I'm going to show you here. So which is actually related to our course. So one of the partition in IT, we have something hardware, and we have something called a software here. Now, apart from this, we even have many sectors related to programming, designing, architect. Okay, so we have different sector in IT. So the person who work in IT doesn't mean like that is only related to networking. So networking, it is actually a part of IT. Okay, so whatever the job available in networking, so complete networking comes to the IT part. Okay. So when you talk about like networking, the complete networking is depends on hardware. Okay. So it doesn't matter like if you start from the basic to expert level, the complete networking is based on the hardware. Okay. It may be like MCSE or Exchange or VMware, or it may be like data center, it may be Cisco, it may be Juniper or Huawei. So whatever the training that you learn in networking part, the complete networking is actually based on hardware. Sometimes you learn about the server, sometimes you learn about the routers, switches, firewalls, data centers, UCS. There will be a lot of categories we have in IT. Okay. So the main question comes here. Suppose if you want to start MCSE, so can we start direct MCSE, or before MCSE also you need to learn something? So what is the actual prerequisite for MCSE? So we'll be talking about 2016 here. So MCSE is one of the course where you can see the basic to expert level categories. Okay. So in order to understand the syllabus for MCSE, the first we need to have some idea about the hardware. Okay. So the first prerequisite for MCSE, we actually need the basic knowledge of hardware. Okay. So hardware doesn't mean a cheap level hardware here. So we'll be talking about like computer hardware here. Okay. So hardware in the sense, at least we should know how to use a computer, how to operate. And if you open a cabinet, if you open the box of computer, whatever the component that you see, it may be like RAM, hard disk, or it may be a processor, motherboard. So at least we need to have some idea about this component. Okay. The reason why I'm saying like today, the company, they are looking for multi-talent people. Okay. So doesn't mean like whatever the training that we have in MCSE, so in a real time also you'll be getting the same. There is no guarantee for that. Okay. So according to the company requirement, you have to do a lot of tasks. Okay. Sometimes our task to manage the machine, sometimes our task to manage the server, sometimes we have a job role for managing and configuring the routers, We need to work on the servers, we need to work on the switches, or sometimes we need to manage only the hardware devices of your network. Okay. So technically, if I say hardware is actually called A plus. Okay. So if you talk about like all time, we have a lot of demand for A plus. Okay. Even there was a demand for hardware engineer. Okay. But in today's time, now if I say like if I start a class for the hardware, even like nobody interested to learn, and even in the market, nobody is seeking for the hardware all the time. Okay? So what actually happened last many years, and why there is no demand for the hardware engineer? Okay. Now I'll try to give one simple example so that we can understand. Okay. Now, if you purchase a computer before 15 years or before 20 years, so computer, there was a machine available in the market. So the computer may be like Pentium 2, computer maybe like Pentium 3 or Pentium 4. So when these computers came to the market, so in that time, when you see the motherboard, so there was nothing in motherboard. I mean, like today, all the options are coming inbuilt. Like when you say a LAN card, when you talk about the VGA, when you talk about HDMI, when you talk about the sound, when you talk about USB. So these options are coming inbuilt today. But in all time, so this component doesn't have directly connected to the motherboard. Okay. So whenever if you want to connect a monitor, again you have to purchase separate card. That is a card you have to purchase. Now if you want to connect this computer or internet or network, again you have to purchase separate card. That is your LAN card. If you need a sound, you will need to purchase a card. If you want to connect a USB, then you have to purchase separate card. Even if you want to have keyboard, mouse, so for that also you need to have a card. Okay. So that means for each and every option you have to purchase separate cards. And the motherboard was like a very big motherboard, and each and every option you have to purchase separately. And even one of the problems like we used to face in that time. So even if I install operating system like 98, 95 or NC Millennium, if I install 2000 Professional, so that operating system doesn't have all the capability to detect each and every component. Okay. So normally what happened here, once you install the operating system, even you have to insert the DVD of CD or DVD of motherboard, and you also install the drivers. Okay. So the main problem that we used to have in an old machine, we need to install the drivers. Okay. We have to maintain, if I'm a hardware engineer, so as a hardware, the duty of hardware engineer, you have to maintain the DVDs of motherboard, CDs of motherboard. Okay. So after the installation of driver, now your machine is ready to use. Okay. So that was the main issue that we used to have in old times. Okay. Now coming to today's computers, like today, if I go market, if I purchase any computer, first of all, nothing we need to purchase. Okay. All these options. So motherboard is like atom board. We have a small board, and each and every option on uh, like whatever the components I'm saying here, all the component will be connected to the motherboard. It may be like LAN card, HDMI, VGA. It may be like USB. All these options are getting directly connected to the motherboard. Okay. So not only like the options are available direct, even if you install operating system like Windows 7, Windows 8, or Windows 10, so even we don't have any problem for the driver here. Okay. So once you install operating system, now the machine is ready to use. You can perform any task. Not only that, even if from the market, if you purchase any external device, so that external device, if you connect with the help of USB, that is we call as autoplay. No need to install any drivers. So automatically, your operating system, it is going to identify each and every component. Okay. So in all time, like we used to have a demand for hardware engineer, but today nothing we have. So why? Because even though a lot of technology available in the market, so uh, everything is coming directly inbuilt. Okay. Now the next thing, after getting a knowledge on hardware, can you start MCSE, or can I learn MCSE complete only based on hardware knowledge? Okay. Again, the answer is no. You cannot understand all the classes of MCSE. So after completing your hardware, the next course actually designed in the market, we have something called as N plus course. N plus is one of the codes where you have some basic fundamentals of networking, network plus, the name of the course. Okay. So in this course, we are, you actually try to learn the basic fundamentals of networking. Okay. Now, once you complete your hardware, and if I give you 20 computers, 10 machines, okay, and if I say like, okay, I want to make a network of these 10 computers, and so only based on hardware knowledge, it is not possible for me to, configure a network. So all the time we have a question like how I connect all these machines together. To create a network, what cable I use, what connection I need, or compulsory shall I need internet here, and shall I connect all these computer to switch, or I have to connect a router, I have to connect a to the server. So when you want to make a network, still we have confusion like what is the actual requirement, what we need, to whom we connect all these devices. Okay. So if you take a course N plus, in N plus you actually get some information related to the basic fundamentals of network. Here you learn what is network, how to create a network, the requirement for the network. You'll be having some information related to the computers, routers, switches, firewalls. You will be having a basic introduction there. Okay. Even you will be talking about the cabling here, like how we connect all the machines together, what cable we use. Okay. So cable also plays a very, very important role. Okay. So once you complete A plus and N plus, then after that, if you start MCSE, now whatever the syllabus, whatever the topic which is going to cover in MCSE, so these things become very easy, and we can easily understand all the topics. Okay. So the course which is actually designed, so what I'm going to do, so some of the basic, like maybe 2 or 3 days, I'll be talking about some basic fundamentals for hardware and network. Okay. And whatever the thing which is actually need for MCSE, I'm going to show you that those classes, they are not talking the complete hardware or complete network plus. Okay. So whatever the thing we actually need to understand our MCSE, so these things we are going to cover in our MCSE part. Okay. Now come to the main point, like what is MCSE and what in what we are going to cover in MCSE. Okay. So in today's a fast-moving IT world, MCSE certification is designed to educate IT professionals to utilize a new advancing technology, a fine-tune troubleshooting skills, and improve IT infrastructure management skills. Okay. So MCSE we call a Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. Is a certification from the Microsoft designed to validate a professional's proven job role capabilities. With MCSE, an individual can be distinguished as an IT professional with the comprehensive set of Microsoft technology or skills necessary to perform a particular job role. MC certification can be highlight your field of expertise since there are several considerations within one certification. Okay. So the main thing is what actually we are going to learn in MCS. What is this course? Okay. So the complete MCSE or complete networking, it is actually depends on a network. And when I say network, automatically like we get a lot of names. Okay. So one of the names, which is actually very famous, we have something called LAN. LAN stands for a local area network. Okay. So whatever the technology that we are going to learn in our MCSE course, the complete MCSE is based on a local area network. Means how to create and manage and troubleshoot a local network. Okay. Apart from the LAN, one of the name which is also famous, we call it as WAN, wide area network. Apart from that, even you can see there are multiple names. Okay, but these three names are very, very famous. So if you want to go, if you want to join a company in today's time, so compulsory like you should have idea about the LAN, WAN as well. Even you also require a knowledge on storage. Okay, so the MCSE exchange, that is a part of your LAN, whereas when you talk about like CCNA, CCNP, when you talk about the security, when you talk about the collaboration, or if you talk about like routing and switching, so that will be covered for WAN technology. And storage, that is totally different. That is that will be your advanced learning courses. Okay. So coming to the main point, like first of all, then MCSE actually started. Okay. So before I'll try to show you like what I'm going to cover in MCSE. First, we need to understand when this course actually started. Is it started last year or before 1 year, before 5 years? Okay, and when actually this course came to the market. So anybody have any idea when this course started, MCSE? Mm-hmm. Now, MCSE is one of the course. The first version in MCSE started by the name NT. Okay, so in future, I'll try to show you one history. Means we try to understand like from when Microsoft actually start releasing the operating system. So as of now, the first version that we have in MCSE, we have MCSE that is based on NT server. Okay, in NT we have many versions. So maybe next time I'll try to show you. So one of the versions we have in MCSE we call as MCSE 2000 server. Okay. So in all time, almost like before 20 years, MCSE stands for a Microsoft certified systems engineer. This is the abbreviation we used to have in all time. So MCSE we call Microsoft certified systems engineer. Okay, but this thing is outdated. All the time we say MCSE, CCNA. So these names are not directly coming before 1 year, before 2 years. Even like before many people already started. Many people already did a lot of courses. Okay, some of the names are very famous in the complete global world. Okay, so after 2000, the next version introduced by Microsoft. We have MCSE 2003. Okay, so 2003 was came after 2000. So the abbreviation for 2003 MCSE again we have same Microsoft Certified System Engineer. Okay. So after 2003, the Microsoft introduced a next course. We call it as MCITP. Okay. And this MCITP course was available at the version 2000. So after 2003, when Microsoft introduced the next version, so here Microsoft tried to change the concept. Instead of saying like MCSE, so he changed the name of a course MCITP. And MCITP stands for Microsoft Certified IT Professional. Okay. So in coming time, instead of the coming version will be after 2008, it was 2012. So instead of continuing the name like MCITP 2012, what the Microsoft has done, again Microsoft continue the name MCSE. Okay, so that means he failed to continue this name in future. Okay. And from 2012, MCSE abbreviation has been changed. So here we say Microsoft Certified a Solution Expert. Okay. So instead of system administrator or system engineer, so from 2012, the technology has been changed from system engineer to solution expert. The name look like same, but abbreviation has been changed. Okay. So after 2012, the next version introduced again, we have a same abbreviation that is 2016. Okay. In 2016 also we have same certification, Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. Okay. So the course which we are going to learn here that will be related to Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. Okay. So till now Microsoft introduced this many courses. Okay, so this is like one of the hierarchy, and now in the market all these versions are outdated, but still you'll see 2012 also available, even 2016, and one of the coming operating system which is already released by Microsoft, that next server after 2016 will be 2019 server. This is already came, but it takes time for implementation. Okay, so right now like the world condition is very bad. Okay, so maybe in future, you'll be having this operating system very soon. Okay. So always like the question comes like why we prefer online training. Okay. So the world is moving very fast. If one need to be sustained and to be competitive in a market, so there is a definite need for continuous learning and improvement. The company infrastructure and IT administrative skill need to be upgraded on the regular basis. So, however, like the time and cost becoming a major factor for individual and companies. So, people looking for something like which can, fulfill the requirement on the fast track with less cost, without compromising, on the quality and education. Okay. So, what actually I decided? Okay. So, I'm going to bring you some new online training to your doorstep. Okay. So, hope like this training will benefit you, or you can take a lot of advantage from this training. Okay, so now the next part which we are going to learn. Okay, so what actually we are going to learn in MCSE? This is very, very important. Okay, so as I told you, the complete MCSE training is based on local area network. So here we'll be talking about the LAN. LAN is nothing but local area network. Let's say I want to start a company. Every company need a network. Okay, the network maybe you have 100 machine, 200 machine. The network maybe have 20 machine, 100 devices, or maybe thousands of devices. So it doesn't matter. According to the requirement, like whatever the devices you want to connect, you can connect many devices here. Okay. Okay. So on this local network, now we'll be having certain server, and here we'll be having some clients. So the training that is actually available for MCSE here, the training we call as a server and client network. Okay. So on this server, we try to configure a lot of services. Okay. Example for like accuracy, DNS, DHCP, and in detail, we are going to see now what is the actual purpose of configuring these services and why we configure these services on the server, and with the help of services, how we are controlling all our network. Means with the help of dedicated server, now we are going to control, we are going to manage all our network controlling. Means now only with the help of server you can do anything. Okay. Now from here we will be talking about how the data share on the network, and once you share, how you protect the data over the people who are logging to different machines, how you allow the user to log into a different network, and how you can provide the security, how you can implement the policies, and how you can give a restriction, a permission. Okay. So the complete MCSE, all the technology will be learning about the LAN. Okay. That's why now when you talk about like syllabus, so regarding MCSE, we'll be having 2 lab manuals. Okay. So from Microsoft, we don't have a name like system admin or network admin. So when I create a lab manual for MCSE, when I start doing the practical for MCSE, so the book was very big. So what I did, I divided MCSE book into 2 main parts. So these 2 books I'm going to share with you. So once I finish my session, so you can receive this lab manual. So this lab manual helps you to understand the practical. Okay. So day to day, what were the practical which I'm going to show you. So this practical you can easily understand with the help of this book. Okay. These are the practical books. Okay. So I'll show you like how the practical we have, like everything is available in a graphical. Okay. All the examples are available. Like before you start doing lab, you need to understand like how the configuration we have. Then based on that, you can easily understand all the practical. Okay. So first, I'm going to show you practically from my side. Then after that, once you're free for your available timing, you can see this book and you can start doing practical from your own. Okay. Now, the main thing which I want to explain here. Now, there will be some topic which I'm going to cover. The first topic will be like installation of Windows Server operating system. Okay. All the time we have many confusion. When I say like server, sometimes we feel like what is actually a server, and server, what actually the server contains, how the server is different from the client operating system. Okay. So when Microsoft introduced the server and in detail, I'm going to show you a specific topic for the server. Okay. In that time, we try to understand the complete installation. Even we'll be talking about the, licensing. Before you install the server operating system, we even discuss about, we need to discuss about like the certification. We need to discuss about like licensing, what editions we have, and how do we install this operating system. So after the first class, as I told you, I'll be taking some basic classes for network class. So here I'll be showing like IP address class. Even I'm going to show you the network practical, like how do we make a network in a network, what we require, what devices are mandatory and what devices are optional. Okay. Then after that, the first topic which I'm going to cover here, we have, which very, very important. So the complete MCSE is based on Active Directory. Okay. So if you learn MCSE and if you don't know AD, that means best of doing complete MCSE part. So Active Directory plays one of the important roles. So Active Directory is like a brain of server. I'm saying it's a brain. So now you can understand. So the role which is maintained for the brain, the brain we actually use for control everybody. All our body will be controlled with this. Okay. Similarly, so if you install only server operating system, now this operating system I cannot do anything. Okay. Now from this server, if I want to control, if I want to manage, or if you want to maintain all the database centrally, now here we are going to configure one service that is called Active Directory. Okay. So future in detail we are going to discuss. So today just I'm showing the overview of the syllabus. Okay. So after the installation of Active Directory, we will try to see how to make a client. Okay. So this will be our network. We install AD on one of the top of server. Then on the network, let's say I'll be having some devices. So these computers, how we can join to the domain, means how we can add this machine to our network. How these computers used by the company people. Okay. So one of the factors we have, and we also discuss about like user account, like how the people can log in, how the user can able to perform the task, and which user can log in which machine, how as an administrator we allow them to log in on a particular time or particular device. Okay. So this will be based on our user account class. Okay. So user account plays a very, very important role. If somebody want to perform any task, so you need to log in on a device, and unless until you log in, you cannot perform any task. So one of the topic I'll be covering here, sharing data. Okay. So always we say like when you say network, basically network we use for sharing data. That is a theoretical part. But practically how we can do that? How we can share a data on a network. Okay. Now if I have 2-3 laptops and once you create a network, so over the network, how we can access the data. Okay. So most of the time, we heard about sharing, but in my course, practically I'll be going to show you how the data will be shared in a network, and whatever the data you share, how the data will be accessed over the network. And one of the important topics we'll be covering, we have something related to profile. So profile plays a very, very important role. Like when somebody logs into the machine, there is a user, let's say we have a user like Jack, and this person log into a computer. Okay. So whenever somebody log into a machine, they try to perform different tasks. They use application. They try to store a lot of data. So how you want the data of this person will be available. Okay. So do you want the data available for Jack wherever he logs in, or you want the data available only on a machine where Jack logs in, or do you want the data of the user stored on the server? This technology completely depends on the profile. Okay. And one of the concepts will be covering home folder. Home folder is like a Google Drive. The way you use Google Drive, now once you log in, the user also gets separate drive where he can store all his data. Means whatever the task the user performs on this particular task, now the data will be stored by the user. Okay. And over the server, administrator can directly access. So after this book, after covering some of the topics, then we are going to start the next book. That is our network administrator. So in this book also I'll be having many topics, and here we have very, very important topics. Okay. So the first topic will be covering here DHCP. As we know, DHCP basically we use for configuring a dynamic IP on the network, automatic IP. Okay. So how DSCP works, how the IP will be given from DSCP, and how the client gets IP from DSCP. We even talk about the backup here, like how to take the backup of DSCP server. Now, what happens if one DSCP server failed? Then how you overcome, how you can configure the failover for the DSCP. So that is also one of the practicals. Okay, and one of the important class that we have for the MCSE, we have DN. So in MCSE, some of the topics are very important. One, we have DNS. Okay. So as we know, like computer understands some kind of language, we call it as binary. But whenever if you access anything on machine, we access each and everything on a computer with the help of a name. Okay. So when you try to put a name of a machine, let's say when you open a browser and when you want to access anything, let's say I want to access Microsoft website of Pearson. So once you put a name, so automatically the computer gets confused. What is this like? Pearson. What is this? Microsoft. Okay. So background, one service automatically comes to the picture. So the responsibility of DNS server. So once you put a name, so that name automatically converts or resolves into the numerical number in a background, and that number will be understood by the name. Okay. So that number understood by the computer. Okay. So this is just introduction. So one of the topics I'll be covering here, Hyper-V. Hyper-V also plays a very important role. So in today's time, as I told you, like the company, they are looking for multi-talent people. Okay. So regarding him, Hyper-V, we just have only introduction part. Okay. Why? Because in market, we will be having separate training for Hyper-V. Means this will be related to virtualization. Okay. So one of the topic I'll be covering in detail, like what is virtualization and how to configure Hyper-V in our network, and what are the benefits when you configure the virtualization, and how Hyper-V is different from other products. Okay, so Hyper-V is not only a hypervisor in the market. Apart from Hyper-V, we also have like ESXi, ESX. We also have Zen server. There will be many products out there in the market. Okay. One of the topic I'll be covering here, configuring a web server. Means this will be related to our website, configuring and managing a website in our local network. Okay. Now, normally like website you may have on internet, not only on internet, even in our local network also we'll be having some kind of website. So this will be our company website. Okay. So basically like this topic I'm going to show you in order to understand the DNS topic. Okay. But anyhow, in detail, we are going to see that. So configuring website and FTP site. So one of the topics, which is also very important, we have something related to WDS, Windows Deployment Server. And Windows Deployment Server, that will be related to like the installation of operating system remotely on the network. Okay. So one of the time I'll be showing, like if you want to install operating system, for me it is not possible to go manually onto that particular device and manually sit and manually install by DVD or USB. Now over the network means from server I can install complete operating system on a network. Okay, without having DVD, without having CD, or without having any resources. So simply I just go and I install over the network. Okay, so before I install, I have to configure some kind of services, and one of the service we call it as WDS. Okay, the next version we have server code. This will be our command line operating system. Okay, so we'll see in this detail. Okay, so after completing some of the topics here, we have one of the important topics related to disk management. So here we'll be talking about the hard disk. Okay, if you connect multiple hard disks on a machine, normally like if you have a laptop, if you have a desktop machine, normally we have only one hard disk, and all the data will be available, and all the partition we create only that hard disk. Okay. But one of the topics I'll be covering, like if you have multiple hard disks connected on a server, let's say I'll be having 5 total hard disks. So with the help of 5 hard disks, how we can make one partition? Okay, so that is possible. That is the actual technology that we are going to learn. That we call it as RAID. Okay, so here we'll be discussing about like how to configure RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5. Okay, so this is also one of the important class that you see. And one of the topic, of course, if you learn MCSE and if you don't know about the background, Okay. Today, let's say I'll be having a computer. On the top of my computer, I'll be having a lot of data. And data is very, very important. It may be my personal data, it may be my company data. So whatever the data that you store, so each and every information is important. Okay. So it may be like the text file, it may be my pictures, it may be my videos, or it may be anything. So when you keep something on a computer, so by mistake, let's say something is deleted. Okay. So I'll be having some information. So right click or you can say delete. So whenever you lost the data, so how you can recover? And we talk about the disaster recovery here. Okay. So how to perform the backup in our server, how we can schedule the backup, how we can take a regular backup. Okay. So this thing will be covering in our MCSE topic. Okay. So again, coming to the first book. So after completing that, again, we'll come back to our, again, the main MCSE concept that is related to AD. So that will be our AD backup, configuring SSML roles, configuring read-only domain controller, configuring, the branch office for the network, configuring the trust relation between different companies. And one of the topics we'll be covering here, group policy. Okay. So this is the syllabus that we are going to see in our MCSE. So the next question comes like, once you complete MCSE, what kind of job available in the market? So once you finish MCSE, one of the, there will be a lot of jobs available in the market. So the job will be related to a system administrator. So in a company, I can work as a system admin, and this system admin responsible for managing or, so we are the people who can take care of network. On the network, you will be take care of servers and managing all the client devices here. So this is the responsibility of system admin. Okay. Now, after completing your system MCSE, the next course design in the market, okay, you can go for Exchange server. So Exchange server also plays a very, very important role. Why? Because like email communication has become a primary medium in most of the organization. So this is the most important tool without which running a business has almost become impossible. So corporate email is used every time and everywhere. It runs around the clock, even if employees are connected from a remote location. Like the organizations are, spread across the global. So if a business unit is one country goes to switch, it continues to run another. Okay. So this application plays a very, very important role in our, the networking career. So what is the main purpose of this Exchange server? So you'll be having a dedicated server in a company where you can keep all the emails. So this is related to the email solution. Okay? So whenever, whatever the task you perform in a network, we don't have a verbal communication. The complete everything is based on the email. So when you need something, if you want to do something, if you are troubleshooting, if you are going to solve any problem, everything comes to you as an email. So that email server you can have. So MCSE plus Exchange, now it will put the weight on your salary. Okay. Apart from Exchange server, from the Microsoft, we can also have a course. We have SQL, SQL server. Now from Microsoft, you can also have a SharePoint that is related to your shared infrastructure. From Microsoft, another course design. We also have Link server. We also have, Azure. Like this, we have many things. Azure that is completely related to cloud. Okay. So in coming days, now most of the companies they are moving to cloud. Okay. So right now, like if you just say MCSE, that is not helping to get a job in the market. But because company they are looking for multi-talent people. I need somebody who can do multiple tasks. Okay. So MCSE give you the the brief introduction to your networking career, and you will be responsible for managing the server and client network. Apart from that, like if you have technology called like Exchange, or if you have something called like Azure, which is one of the top cloud organization in the market. So definitely it will put the weight on the salary. Okay. After that, you can have, you can go for the CCNA, CCNP, you can have security, you can go up to the CCI level. That is completely depends on your budget, or that is completely depends on your requirement. Okay. So this is a brief introduction to our MCSE. Okay. So if you have any doubts or if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. So today, just the main reason like why I have given introduction to show you like what actually I'm going to cover in MCS. So if you have any question, you can ask me. So did you understand what I explained? Any doubts? Now you like the online training? Benefit for you? So how do you like the online? So see, most of the time when I say like online, the people feel something different. The online is more better than the classroom training, where you can see you know you can get all the practicals in front of you, everything. You can even record the session. Okay. So we have many things here. Okay. So hope you understand. So text me, like if you have any question, if you don't understand anything, you can text me, or you can ask anytime a question. Okay. So today we bind up here. So tomorrow again we come with a new session with practicals. Okay. So today just we have only a critical part, and I just try to focus on some basic introduction part. Okay. So I don't want like from the first day you start showing the lab. Okay. So maybe from tomorrow, not only we have theory, even I'll try to show you some practical part. Okay. So that the class becomes somewhat interesting. Okay. So tomorrow ready for 10 a.m. Okay. So today we have first class. That's why I started late. But from tomorrow sharp 10 we are going to start. Okay. Okay. So thank you for joining MCSE. So once again, thank you. So tomorrow we'll see the next topic.